At the time that I applied, I had been thinking about how I can combine my academic interest in astronomy with my hobby in art. And that was because a couple semesters before that, I was working on a project where every night for about a month, I would take my telescope out and observe Jupiter and the Galilean moons. And while I was out there, the people passing by would ask me a lot of questions about, the um, the telescope, what I was looking at, about the project, and so on and so forth. So I realized that a lot of people outside my department are a lot more interested in astronomy than I had thought, and that if you want to reach that group of people, it seems like all you have to do is give them the casual opportunity to talk about it. And that is sort of how I interpreted the goal of Psyche Inspired. So it was a great coincidence that I found out about the internship around that time. I initially designed this series of illustrations with a focus on trying to evoke some sense of empathy for the mission almost, with the hope that that would turn some casual interest into um, sort of like emotional investment. Like, for example, we remember when the Mars rover Opportunity died because it was something that was made somewhat personal by how people would sort of personify that last message that we got from it. Like, um, they turned it into something like, my battery is low and it's getting dark, right? So that became the running theme across all of my pieces. But the Psyche mission is still ongoing, so I wanted to portray what could happen as well as what has happened. So I included these little hints of what we might learn from it. And I hope these hints will get people interested in the mission goals as well. Over the course of the internship, we had a lot of really impressive guests with a lot of really diverse professions and career paths, and even some former Psyche inspired interns. But I think something that a lot of them had in common was that they had ended up where they were because they chose something that they cared about a lot and then they stuck with it. So, like, even if their careers weren't linear or even if they changed their minds about the details along the way, I really came to admire that kind of dedication. And it's something that I want to try and emulate going forward. I think I worked a lot on my ability to communicate ideas to different groups of people through all of the making of the art and writing about it, talking about it, um, adapting to the intended audience. And it wasn't so much of thinking, did I make every point I wanted to make, so much as have I tailored my explanation to the audience? And those are, in my mind, pretty much the same question, but the approach is quite different, and I think it does matter. Nike Inspired is an art internship that draws in a lot of science students. So I imagine that the people who end up applying might feel split between the two. And maybe the people who are on the fence about applying are those who feel like they lean very strongly toward one or the other. And I know for myself personally, um, as I was writing up my application, I realized I had a lot more relevant experience than I initially thought. Um, and I'm sure that's the case for a lot of other applicants, even those who might be on the fence. Um, but I think the big idea is um, trying to think about all the times you've had to communicate your ideas to groups of people, um, and what you've learned from that. Throughout the program, I came across a lot of people to learn from, including both the guests and the other interns. And I met a lot of people I otherwise never would have interacted with. So I think Psyche Inspired was a really valuable experience for me personally, but I also think it's a feeling that's shared by a lot of us.